Alright, so the Las Vegas Grand Prix was on earlier today, was on very late in the United States, on very early in Europe and the United Kingdom. But I wanted to talk about Sir Lewis Hamilton. Now, rightfully, after this race, all the attention pretty much is going to be on Max Verstappen. After all, spoiler alert, he did win his 4th world title in a row this weekend, which is very impressive. And I think he had a good race overall. He did all he could in that car. But I want to talk about Sir Lewis Hamilton because this is a guy that's come in for so much criticism. There are, he's got a lot of fans, right? Let's not get away from that. But he's also got a lot of haters too. You know, if you're very popular with some people like he is, you're going to be very unpopular with some other people as well. It's just inevitable. We've seen it with Michael Schumacher in the past. We see it with Max Verstappen now. He's got a lot of fans, but he's got a lot of haters as well. And that definitely applies to Hamilton as well. But I wanted to talk about him because I think he had a really, really standout race. He really, really did. Now, he qualified all the way down in 10th position and eventually powered his way to get through to 2nd place by the end of the race. And that can't be underestimated. Now, again, I know the Hamilton haters will say, oh, well, he shouldn't have qualified that far down. And yeah, of course he shouldn't have done. He cost himself a realistic chance of the victory as a result. But to come through like he did was very, very impressive. This is his first podium finish in Formula 1 since the summer break. He's not stood on the podium since he won the Belgian Grand Prix earlier this year. So it's been a while to say the least. He's been, doubting himself, doubting the car, probably doubting the team as well. Just after, his radio message after the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, which he has since now confirmed that, he did really think about quitting early, but decided against it. And thank God he did decide against it because he had an excellent race in Las Vegas. He really did. And that is, I heard on the commentary, it was something like, 36 Grand Prix tracks that he's now stood on the podium at, which is, of course, a record. I'm sure it was over 30, which is just something else in itself. He is a really, really accomplished driver, the most accomplished driver in F1 history. It's not a surprise, but when you read the records out and you put them in perspective, it is mesmeric for sure. And he really did show shades of his old self. He really, really did. Now, it wasn't the easiest to overtake, even though it's a very high-speed track in Las Vegas. There were times, particularly when he was caught behind the Ferraris, that he just couldn't really get past. He was like, man, these guys are so fast down the straight. But through the strategy, which, again, that got him ahead of the Ferraris. He got past the likes of the McLarens pretty easily, eventually as well getting past Max Verstappen. And again, some people might say, oh, Max Verstappen let him pass. And it's not about let him pass. He just didn't want to fight it because, his battle was with Lando Norris. He knew if he finished ahead of Lando Norris, didn't matter what happened. Champion no matter what. So that was probably in his thinking. His radio message from his team as well did kind of indicate that as well. But still, to come back and then it wasn't just the fact that he got 2nd place, because again, the detractors with this will probably say, oh, well, Mercedes had the fastest car by far this weekend. And yeah, they had the fastest car. Their package for some reason around Las Vegas was just unstoppable. And we've seen it at certain times this year. Silverstone, Belgium, they had excellent cars there. But then for the rest of the season, for the most part, they've not really been that great. I know they won in Austria, but that was because Lando and Max had the crash, and they wouldn't have won if it wasn't for that, really. But yeah, Las Vegas, man, honestly, his performance was incredible. And the fact that when he got through to 2nd place, he was setting fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap. And when have we seen this? It's like the Wolf of Wall Street meme where he's like throwing the money out. It's Hamilton throwing the fastest lap notifications out. It's been a long, long time since we've seen that. It was relentless, and he just made one mistake. He made one mistake while he was chasing down George Russell. And again, I'm going to take the alternate view here where, at least air it anyway, where some people are like, oh, he made a mistake. Clearly, he's washed. He can't do it anymore. Well, no, because he was chasing down George Russell. He could have easily settled for 2nd place and be like, yeah, you know what, 2nd place, great result from 10th on the grid. No, he was going for the win. He was absolutely going for the win, and he fell short in the end. But yeah, and he said it in his podium interview as well when he was speaking to Terry Crews on the podium. He was like, you know what, I would have won. He basically said, I would have won this race had I started on the front row or got pole position. Which I don't disagree with, because he was absolutely on a mission for sure. And it shows for me that his sell-by date, as Toto Wolff has said, I know that has been misinterpreted, but a lot of Hamilton haters have been really running with that phrase this last week or so. His sell-by date has not happened. He's still got shelf life. He is still someone who has value in Formula 1. He's still a great driver. and I'm really, really excited to see what he does at Ferrari next season. I'm really excited to see what he does alongside Charles Leclerc. I think it's going to be a fascinating battle between the pair of them next season. And of course, he turns 40 years old as well next year. And the longevity of Hamilton is something that's not really spoken about too much. You hear about Fernando Alonso, rightfully so, Kimi Raikkonen, even Rubens Barrichello back in the day, but for Hamilton to still be he's going to be competing in Formula 1 until at least the end of 26, which is going to put him at nearly 42 years old, which is about the age that Alonso is now. So, and I won't rule out him continuing after that. I really wouldn't, you know. That would, at the end of 26, that'll be 20 consecutive seasons in Formula 1, which I don't think anybody's ever done. Alonso's had more seasons, but he's had breaks in them. He didn't race in 2002, and he also retired for the first time after 2018, I think the year was, and then he obviously came back eventually. So it really does show that Hamilton's still quality, still deserves his place in Formula 1 without a doubt, and deserves to be at a top team. And I'm really excited to see what he can do next year at Ferrari. But what do you guys think? Do you think Hamilton's washed? Do you think he's finished? I don't think you can say that after this result, you know, and I've said it throughout this as well. He's won 2 races this season, you know, no matter what happens now, you know, he's won 2 races this season, which is 2 more than most people on the grid. Yes, he's in a better car than most people on the grid, but that Mercedes has not exactly been a world beater for most of this season. It's only looked really good in a couple Grand Prix this season, and only won some of those races because of strategy and a bit of luck at times as well. It's only really Silverstone where I think to myself, yeah, they absolutely were the fastest car and they deserve to win that race. Because Belgium, obviously, Russell with his 1 stop, and then I suppose you could say Hamilton deserved it from there, but yeah, anyway. I'm rambling about this, but yeah, what do you guys think? What's your opinion about Hamilton in Formula 1? Should he make way? Is he too old? Is he past it? I don't think so. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below as always, and of course keep it tuned to the F1Chronicle.com to see much more content on the world of Formula 1 just like this.